Alright, what's going on everyone out there on YouTube? NES Ruler, and welcome to a brand new review. And this time around we'll be checking out a film that was sent to me reviewed by Eureka. And you pick this up on Blu-ray at all your favorite online retailers in the United Kingdom and websites like Diabolic DVD here in the States. It is a film from the year 1981 from Japan titled Samurai Reincarnation. So this is part of Eureka's Masters of Cinema collection that they've been doing for who knows how long now. This is number 277. So they've been doing this for this series for quite a while. I have quite a few releases in my collection of this series. So this is the brand new one from Eureka, part of that line. And it's the Japanese film, like I said, Samurai Reincarnation, directed by Fukusaku, who also did Battle Royale and a few other pretty popular films in Japan. He was an interesting fella. He worked mainly in the huge studio in Tokyo, which often shot gangster films, like I said, and high budget films. But then there was another studio out in the countryside that shot more period pieces and samurai films and things like that. And he had an opportunity to go out there and make a couple films, and this was one of them. And he wanted to do a little bit of a different twist on a samurai film. And this is ultimately what we got. It's a really interesting film. It's very Bava inspired. There's a lot of inspiration that you could see that's taken from Bava and his films. It's very atmospheric, very dark at some points. It's on the fence of being a horror film. In my opinion, I think it makes the cut just barely, but I do feel like it makes the cut. So basically, we follow beginning of the film, we follow the Christian resistance in Japan getting massacred by the shogun. And ultimately, the Christian leader makes a deal with the devil, and he's ultimately resurrected. And he goes around and he recruits other people to join his army of evil to go take down the shogun. Resistance army. It's not even resistance. The shogun government, which is the main rule in Japan. So ultimately, he recruits this wife, this ninja, this other samurai. So he recruits all these different people who maybe have been served injustice in society, and he basically goes and he decides he's going to take down and ruin the shogun government. And that's where we meet our main character, Jubai, who is a samurai, and he is tasked of trying to stop these evil demons from taking down the shogun government. And along the way, we learn more about his backstory and his father, who ultimately gets turned into a demon, and him having to have redemption. And this movie has a lot of really great fight choreography towards the end of the film. The beginning sequence with the Christian resistance getting slaughtered is really great. That's probably the most Bava-inspired scene. There's a bunch of just decapitated heads on pickets. It's really, really a great looking shot and a really awesome way to start the film. And then the film is bookends by a really awesome scene between our main character and his father in this fiery rubble of a temple. It's really great. Looks really solid. Along the way, you have really interesting characters, really great gore effects, and everything along the way. Really interesting samurai film. Fukusaku really wanted to try and make a different kind of film, a supernatural, occult kind of samurai film, and I feel like he succeeds with this film. I feel like all the characters are really interesting, and he really didn't follow, this is based on a novel, he really didn't follow the novel to a T. He included some characters that weren't in the novel that he thought would enhance the script. So he didn't really follow the book to the T like a lot of people do today. He took a little bit more liberty to do some more open things like Kubrick did in The Shining. He took some liberty in expanding the world that the film was made from, the book that the film was made from. So ultimately, I had a really great time with this film. It's a really great early 1980s samurai film. I feel like it kind of slogs a little bit in the middle of the film, but it ultimately picks up and ends in a really great conclusion. Like I said, I enjoyed all the characters. They're interesting enough that you want to spend time with, and it's just a really great release from Eureka. The transfer is really, really solid. It's a brand new 2K restoration. Looks really good from the original film negative, so it's not a restoration from a print. Straight from the negatives. It looks really great. And then there is the uncompressed Japanese audio on this, as well as the English dub. And then there's a featurette with Fukusaku's son, who talks more about his father and this film and his life and his history working in the film industry in Japan. About a half an hour featurette, really interesting. Learned a lot about the guy, really well done, and it was nice to listen to his story, because I know a little bit about him, because, you know, Battle Royale is such a popular film, so I knew a little bit about him, but I didn't know about his history of making really big budget films and then deciding to jump ship and make some of these more lower budget, experimental period films like this film. So really interesting featurette. And then you have a commentary track on here as well. So let's look at the edition here. So here is the Blu-ray, the spine, and the back. And then the artwork, you have your typical Eureka Masters of Cinema artwork. Inside you have the disc and a really nice booklet here that talks about the film. Just really nice. People who made this release possible. So ultimately, really nice. This is what makes Eureka stand out from a lot of other companies, is all their releases, they do this nice booklet. Some companies here in the States do that, but it's always appreciative to see a nice booklet in there. So ultimately, if you guys haven't seen Samurai Reincarnation, I recommend you guys check it out. It's quite an interesting horror, Bava-inspired samurai film. So that is my review of Samurai Reincarnation. If you guys like this review, please give it a thumbs up. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/NESRoller22. Hope everybody's doing well, and I shall talk to you guys soon. See you guys.